Kaitaia is Pawarenga, a world of its own. At first glance, you get the feeling there have been better times here. The rural backdrop is home to an unusual collection of houses. The new ones represent a changing face of a valley that's remained largely unspoiled. The money flowing into Pawarenga comes mainly from the government, from the dole, from benefits, and from the subsidised work schemes. Downtown Pawarenga, Tuesday morning. Soon it'll be hard to find a place on the shop veranda. But one of the perks of living here is the free medical service.
You want a patient to pass a urine sample, you have to get them to go out into the paddock somewhere.
Facilities are primitive in Pawarenga. Dr. Brent Maxwell travels from Rawene every week.
Kia ora.
Patrick and Tarina, come through.
The free service for the sparsely populated Hokianga was begun by a Dr. Smith in the 30s. In the 90s, where unemployment also spans 3 generations, it's become even more relevant.
You're keeping an eye on your weight? Trying.
Even the prescriptions come without the government charge.
We'll see you in a month's time before your medicines run out. Okay? Right, Eve.
As the morning passes, the crowd grows. No one's a stranger for long.
Go and see if you can find a hanky in a cup.
The settlement is strongly Catholic. Even after a century, the faith is still very much part of the community's pulse. A Maori community. As in other small settlements, the withdrawal of the post office was devastating. Once it went, people had to go 60 kilometres to Kaitaia to collect their benefits. The loss of business nearly forced the Oni shop to close. Anapapa still belongs to the co-op that's kept the shop going.
Everyone who lives here collects the dole, but they work really hard, you know, like on their little bits of plots and in their gardens, and the money that you get really is subsistence, but they could live like on the dole that they get here. You can live like a king because you've got fish and you've got your garden and you've got fresh air and heaps of things, you know. Life is not all about money, is it?
Anna, what makes Pawarenga unique, you think, to the people that live here? More than 50 families.
Well, I know, like we have little troubles and problems, but you know that when your child walks out on the road, that I'm not the only parent in Pawarenga. There's, like you say, 50 other families who are going to take care of my children. If they get into trouble or do something that's not quite acceptable, I'm not the only person that's going to say, look here, kid, there's going to be, 50 other mothers going to say, I'm going to tell your mother, or, whatever.
Charlie Hunia is one of many moving back from the towns.
Yeah, it's paradise, all right?
What is there for the young people to do here?
Well, what is there for them to do out there in the city? No job. So all they do is get in trouble, right? And what they do is lock them up. Over here, well, it's such a different sort of thing. It's not much to get in trouble, is there?
Thank you.
Pawarenga is Gloria Herbert's patch. She's tangata whenua. She was born here. She belongs to the land.
The bark and snaps off.
Gloria and her husband Jim have spent much of their time farming. Now that their 6 children are growing up, Gloria's putting her energy into the Pawarenga Community Trust. She's one of a new breed of Māori women who walk comfortably in 2 worlds. Her knowledge of how the system works has brought subsidies to Pawarenga. It's the only way she knows of bringing hope to the young people.
What I would really like to see for our young people, and what many of us are trying to do, is to create in their minds a sense of their own worth as people and as Māori. Because I actually believe what Stephen Biko said, that, you know, the chains, we put out the chains on our own minds, and if we can release those chains and realise that we are free to be whatever we want to be, and to be able to achieve and to do anything that you want to do, then it's possible. But in some ways with our young people, the chains are already there, and they have to be taken away. The chains are that there is no future for me, that I can't get a job. And I guess in some ways we see that there is a need to help our young people to almost look laterally at alternative ways of surviving, and surviving well, and positive alternative ways of surviving.
Just down the road, the Silk Screening Access Scheme shows one of those positive alternatives. It's the latest in a series of subsidised work programs that Gloria and the Trust has secured for Pawarenga. At the centre of any scheme is a leader. This one has Paul Marshall. He left Auckland to retire quietly to Pawarenga. He's never worked harder in his life.
The best thing about screen printing, of course, is that it's a way of developing and selling artwork, and that's the way I see it. You know, there are a lot of young people who are really artistic, and they don't have outlets for their artwork, you know, other than the conventional picture painting and what have you, which is a very difficult area to break into. But this is a way that anybody can sell their artwork, and that's what, you know, we've been trying to promote.
What future is there after the course ends?
We are advertising, and we're becoming fairly well known. You know, we have customers looking for us, and that's something. I mean, even, you know, in any commercial sense, once you've got customers looking for you, you know, the momentum grows. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to have put out a lot of artwork for Māori functions, like we did the National Women's Hui. We've done, you know, the World Sprints. We did the official shirts for that, and now the shirts that we're printing here today are the ones for the National Outrigger Canoe Sprints. A lot of the trainees on this course are now involved in doing commercial jobs. You know, we're doing jobs for customers. We've submitted sketches and artwork, you know, for approval on various jobs, and they've been accepted, and we're in the process of, you know, we're printing 100 shirts for one customer, we're, you know, printing 50 shirts for another customer, and so the results are quite pleasing. You know.
The success of any job training scheme is outcomes, results. And here at this local store, these are some of the results. Now this is the bestseller. They've sold 1,000 over a 3-week period. It's only $25. I think I'll take one.